What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound, and I just released a new single called Run earlier this month, so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. Okay, guys, I want to talk about survival mode and why, I mean, we're going to get it, but it's like the case for why survival mode is actually quite necessary. Now, we've been told for the last however many years land was going to soak up all these extra cards, and it will, but we know that land is going to most likely soak up cards that are just like the best of the best cards, meaning that like gold foils, legendaries, anything that gets kind of like a boost on there. But where I wanted to focus on was just the massive amount of reward cards that are out there, specifically for the Chaos Legion reward set. So if we go all the way down here, you can see our favorite class here, the Pelacor Bandit class, right? So Venari Heatsmith, Pelacor Bandit, Deceiver, Pelacor Conjurer, Gargoyle Line, and Pelacor Mercenary. Each of these had 8 million BCX printed. And this column right here that I'm highlighting shows how many cards are currently in the mix, right? And then the column next to it shows how many are how many BCX in total. Now, there's also going to be the total amount of not reward cards, but gold foil cards, and then of course the gold foil BCX. So check this out. You have Venari Heatsmith, Pelacor Bandit, Deceiver, like all of these are at like pretty much like 1 million or over, right? Venari Heatsmith is the only one that is lower than 1 million total cards out there, but that's also because there's been it has the most burned, I think, right? 2.118. No, I guess Gargoyle Line is slightly higher than that, but regardless, that's besides the point. There's like over 1 million BCX of each of these. Sorry, not 1 million BCX, over 1 million cards, right? 5 to 6 million BCX of each of these cards. And the thing is, on land, if all land is being utilized, the total amount of cards or units, I should say, that you would need is 750,000, right? There's 150,000 plots. They can each hold up to 5, workers. So that's 750,000 cards. And each one of these, right? A single, like just Pelacor Mercenary, you could fill up the 750,000 slots with Pelacor Mercenaries and still have almost 600,000 cards left over. That's how many reward cards there are. It is absolutely wild. Now, sure, you can take the approach that as things move forward and hopefully, people are incentivized to level up the cards and max them out, then sure, if there's 6 million BCX that comes out, divided by 400 copies within a maxed copy of a card, that comes out to like 15,000 total copies, right? So 15,000 of these, but then you have 6 of them, right? So it's 90,000 just right there if we were to use every single card and throw it onto a plot. Obviously, that's not the case, but we're looking at one set of cards. We're not even looking at the second set, right? Ever-Hungry Skull, Mordampier, Bloodmaker. That's a whole other, there's even more there. And then that's just the commons. There's rares, there's epics, there's legendaries. Oh yeah, and there's also like pretty much every other set, core, mini set, promo cards, and all these different things all throughout time, right? Starting from alpha, beta, untamed. So you can see just how many cards there are out there, which then begs the question, or I shouldn't say begs the question, really pushes forth the argument that we need another thing besides land. And I think that's where wild or survival mode really comes into play. One thing that I didn't even check here is look at how many gold foil cards there are, right? So even with like a Venari Heatsmith, there's 34,000 gold foil cards, 129,000 BCX, but 34,000 cards. I mean, it's absolutely wild. If you were to look at all of the reward cards, and again, this includes everything across all of the different things until we got to Soulbound, there are 488,000 gold foil cards. Just rewards. If we were to just use that, right? I mean, that's more than half of what would be required on land. Now, again, I know that this is not maximizing BCX and all that, but my point is that there's just a ton of cards out there in the mix. And so having something like survival mode offers another area in which, hey, at some point, right? Like at some point, people I think are going to find that their land produces better with a higher rarity or a gold foil card or something else that's not a Venari Heatsmith. right? It's just not a Venari Heatsmith. And even if we have 15,000 Venari Heatsmiths that are out there in the mix, not even counting gold foil, what are we going to do with them if they're never going to be eligible for land because they're literally bottom of the barrel when it comes to production points? Well, now you're going to have a space for them. Now you're going to have a place in which, you know what? If you just want to play as much as possible and your Venari Heatsmiths keep dying because they don't do much, right? They're usually just cannon fodder up front. Well, now you have an opportunity to use them. They have this extra utility, right? Same with Gargoyle Lions and Pelacor Conjurers and Mercenaries. I'm just saying, I'm just looking at these cards and you can see that there's already going to be this extra utility that they may not have on land. Like they could have and they should have, right? Had land been there, then you probably would have seen a lot of these cards get soaked up. But since land is not quite there, and we know that land is always going to trend towards using gold foil and higher rarity if possible, then these cards may never see the light of day when it comes to working on land the way that we thought they would, the way that they should have, right? Because had everything gone to plan and had things come out in a timely fashion and land actually been closer to 2.0 now than it was, than we are, then yeah, sure. I mean, these are the cards that are available, but we're constantly getting new cards. And we're going to get a brand new set upcoming very soon. Now, that is to say, I don't think Conclave Arcana or even Rebellion are going to be land eligible. And when I say land eligible, I just mean it makes no sense for you to use them on land when much cheaper options exist, and it doesn't really matter what the cards do, right? You wouldn't go and use a fire common card from Rebellion because that costs too much, and Conclave Arcana will probably be the same thing. You'd go and you buy these Venari Heatsmiths. But as I was saying earlier, if you're going to put something on land, why would you put a Venari Heatsmith when you can maybe put a maxed Countess Sinesh, right? Of which I'm not even going to look it up right now, but there's probably a good amount of Countess Sineshes out there. So that leaves more Venari Heatsmiths just kind of floating around with nothing to do, no land to work, and only one of them can be used in modern and wild format. So I do think survival mode offers something different, and it's not just like this, hey, we just needed to find an area in which people could use their cards. I do think that there is a benefit here, right? Land is always going to trend towards higher rarity gold foil cards wherever possible, right? Even for myself, I don't have my land maxed out yet, but ideally in the long run, it'd be cool to slowly build up gold foil cards and increase my production across the board. Yeah, if I just wanted to get a bunch of land started, then I could use a bunch of Venari Heatsmiths and Gargoyle Lines, but that wouldn't be the long-term plan. Ideally, it wouldn't be the long-term plan. I would trend towards that, which means when I do find replacements for my Venari Heatsmiths, where do they go? Right? Where do they go? And now I think that is the question that survival mode answers. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Just curious to hear how people are feeling about this. Obviously, we don't know when survival mode is going to come out. I was really hoping it would come out on the 7th, but it didn't. But there is a town hall later this week, so maybe we'll get some info on that when it does happen. That is all I have for you guys. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.